love lovers. We're back. We needed to be back with, or continuing rather, the Synastry between Halle Bailey and DDG, the rapper, right? Because we did part one, and at the time I could not figure out enough details to calculate DDG's time, and thanks to one of the supporters, they provided the exact date of a particular event, which really helped, because with dates in astrology, we can calculate a lot of stuff. We can go back to somebody's whole life and figure out what's happened and all of that, right? So thanks to the person who gave me that date, which just revealed everything. And so I think I have to mention, because some people are a bit confused, I have to mention that I am using a whole house system, right? Where a whole sign system rather, where the whole sign is considered for a house, right? Because some people use placidus, which is fine for them, but when you take a telescope, if you take your telescope right now, or maybe right now or at night, whatever, and you look at the system, you will see that right now, for example, Mars is transiting the Sagittarius direction, right? The Sagittarius sign. So, scientifically, as you can see, if you use a telescope practically, you will see that the whole sign system is actually very, very reliable instead of the placidus, because we must remember that placidus system is based on ever-changing seasons, and therefore you cannot make long predictions over something, with using a system that changes all the time, because how can you then detect reliability, right? If something is changing every day or every 3 months, you cannot for a long time. You need some sort of a stable trend to be able to make long-term predictions. So yeah, that's the practical side, and also that's just the theoretical side. But anyway, we're back. We're back doing this beautiful analysis, of this beautiful, young, lovely, lively as well couple, right? And so let's get into the details. And of course, if you want, if you'd like for me to do an analysis for you, to see how your relationship with your significant other is going, or maybe a relationship between you, or maybe an analysis for you and your friend, for you and your crush, or even a family member, just click on the link below and I will do it. I don't take months and months to respond. I get back to people, within a week. And I also offer a follow-up, so that if you have questions regarding the report that you will receive, you can get some clarification. That's just, the business ethics that I like to follow. And I am very confident in my analysis, 99% accurate, right? Now let's get into the details for sure. Just a bit of a recap. Halle was born in 2000 at 10:10 in the morning in Atlanta in March the 27th, making her a Taurus ascendant. Again, remember guys, we're using the whole sign system, so she's a Taurus ascendant. We're not using a placidus, as I have already explained. why, like the practicality as well as the theoretical part of it, right? So she's a Taurus ascendant, she's got her Venus in the 10th house, which is the lord of the ascendant, conjunct Mercury, making her appealing to the public, and also her work be in a public role, right? Obviously Venusian, she's a singer, she's also an actress, but as much as she's a good actress, but she's like a super excellent musician, right? With the most gorgeous, beautiful, serene voice ever, right? Like no competition. On the other hand, so we calculated DDG's birth time. I had to recalculate, which took me a bit of a few days, a couple of days, to get all the information in order, to get the timeline all the way back to his birth time, which I calculated. So therefore we are having a Sagittarius ascendant, from the calculations. And having the Sagittarius ascendant, we're having somebody who is intelligent, very intelligent, and at the same time who's also an explorer, somebody who likes to explore, somebody who likes to, to also learn from not only books, but from other people, from other cultures, from mingling with a lot of people, with a lot of different people, somebody who's broad minded. Okay, that's DDG. That's what we're getting from his birth, his natal chart. He likes to mingle with a lot of people, explore, learn, right? And at the same time, because of the Sagittarius ascendant, obviously we're seeing a lot of Sagittarius qualities, which could also mean that somebody who's very lucky in life, because remember, the 9th house is originally the house of luck. So when that energy goes to your body, it follows you around, right? So with that said, the lord of his ascendant is in the 2nd house, and it's here with moon, giving him enormous ability to have wealth, like to have not just wealth, guys, but like real wealth, because moon is exalted in the 2nd house, meaning that it is able to accumulate as much wealth as possible. And Jupiter is also about expansion, and here, because it is the lord of the ascendant, it will favor its body, its owner. So we are seeing that DDG has a huge ability to be wealthy, like very, very wealthy. Okay, obviously I don't know about his bank status, but from this natal chart, we're seeing somebody who's very, very moneyed, like who's got a lot of money and who's got the ability to be wealthy, very, very wealthy, and through work. This wealth will not be coming from, donations or something like that. No, it will be coming from his work, because it's in Capricorn. Capricorn is all about work, it's all about profession. So it's the money that he is able to build is coming from his profession, right? Okay, so that's the lord of the ascendant. That's the situation of the lord of the ascendant. Now let's get into the dynamics, because now it's even better to see how their charts are matching together. Because remember, in part 1 we could only see from Halle Bailey's perspective, of what she's feeling, of what she's receiving from him, of what he's giving to her, right? Today we're able to see what he's also getting from her, what she's doing to him, what she's doing for him. So now we're just going to have a beautiful, big, full picture, right? Let's get deeper, guys. So from this relationship, the first thing that we see is that Halle Bailey is coming with her moon, and she's placing her moon on DDG's ascendant, right? So meaning that now there's some motherly figure, like some motherly figures that are going to be nurturing or showing some care or some warmth towards DDG, okay? You know how a mother does, right? A mother brings that warmth, that care, asking about, you know, what you want, So she's bringing that energy on him. And at the same time, it means that herself is playing a role of a mom to him. When I say of a mom, obviously because they love us, right? But she's like able to care for him in a warm way, you know. She's able to nurture him, like to give him the feeling of, oh my gosh, okay, I feel comfortable here. You know, he's feeling like that with her because she's bringing that moon energy. But at the same time, this moon energy is now also wanting or maybe influencing DDG to want to explore even more. Like if he was exploring, let's say, within a certain limit, now with this moon, he wants to explore even more. He wants to travel more because of Halle Bailey's moon, right? He wants to travel more. He wants to explore more than he would have, you know, before. But at the same time, it also means that now, because of this moon from Halle Bailey's chart, DDG is now or has become softer than he would have been originally. Like now he's even more softer. Like if he was soft and you know, now he's even more softer, and he's also able to touch on some emotions or maybe be emotional more than he was before. Of course, this is only known, you know, it can be known by the people close to him. Me, I'm just talking about what I see from the chart, right? I don't know him personally, but that's what we're getting. In part one, obviously, I could see that there are some fatherly figures that are involved in, you know, giving them advices regarding their relationship, their romance. Now it is obviously confirmed looking from how her chart is influencing his chart. We are now also seeing that not only fatherly figures and friends are advising them, but we are also seeing that there could be some professional advisors, some professional counselors that are there to guide them with their romance. And at the same time, we're also seeing some authority figures, maybe their bosses or their directors, that are also kind of like involved in advising them and giving them a direction regarding their romance, right? And also some mass energy, meaning that more male figures that are really like advising, do this, go about it this way, this romance and all of that. But because it is authority figures certain, we are seeing that at some point they would be working together, maybe have a music video together or a song together. But her certain is going to require that DDG and herself have a project, a work project together. So in the future we could anticipate some work project together because of her certain, maybe a music video, since they both like in the music industry, right? So that's what we're seeing here. And we must also look at the part where, you know, about the work, right, project and all of that. When it comes to, you know, the Saturn energy, Saturn is all about work, Saturn is all about discipline, all of that. It also means that she is also coming in with a lot of maturity, a lot of discipline in this relationship, and she could even be more, she could show more maturity than DDG should go, right? And whereas he's more playful, you know, but at the same time he knows what he's doing because, you know, of his son. So he also knows what he's doing. He's all about royalty and all going all out. And her, she's like matured, you know, more disciplined, and at the same time very, very passionate, because it's got that Mars there, and the Mars is in its own house as well in terms of the relationship. So basically, when it comes to the romance part of their relationship, they are both literally like, I don't know, like they're so committed. They are committed. They just here for it, and she's even more committed because of her Saturn. Her Saturn is demanding that she's more committed in this relationship. Okay, so we're seeing that they both find each other very beautiful, very attractive, because of her moon on his ascendant, making him more beautiful. He's already a very handsome man, but it's even added more from her moon qualities. And he's got his Venus in her 7th house, meaning that when she looks at him, she finds him very attractive, very handsome, and so does he because of his Venus. And at the same time, we are seeing that even his communication is now like kind of like revamped in a positive light by Halle Bailey's Venus and Mercury, meaning that his communication was a bit lost, was a bit scattered, because he's got that Ketu there in his communication house, in his 3rd house. His communication is not really well developed naturally. As I said in part 1, I could see it in part 1 of how his communication is impacting her profession, right, and her public status. But now that I have calculated his chart, I can clearly see that he's got communication problems naturally, which because of the Ketu, as I said, guys, Ketu does not have the head. It makes your whatever house is placed in, it makes it a bit scattered, a bit confused, a bit unorganized, right? Because I mean, just imagine somebody who doesn't have a head, right? They just go everywhere and bump on every corner in the house because they can't see. But thanks to now the Venus and the Mercury of Halle Bailey, now he's learning how to communicate, because remember, Mercury is communication. So now Halle Bailey is coming with the Lord of the communication to his life. He's now starting to learn how to communicate properly, how to present himself in a diplomatic way due to her Venus as well, because remember, Venus is diplomacy. All right. So we're seeing that change that's happened here because of her planets, okay? And it means it's going to get better because this is happening in Aquarius. meaning that Venus and Mercury are accepted in Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is friends with Venus and Mercury. So we are going to see a lot of change, a lot of improvement in his communication. If it's not already visible to, I don't know, his family, his friends, and his neighbors, like people who know him personally, they're going to attest to this and say, oh well, yeah, his communication is changed, you know, or his expression is changed. It is thanks to her planet. And because, you know, it's happening in the third house. The third house is an expression, also expression with the neighbors, also expression with, you know, our siblings, and, you know, all of that, and media as well. Remember, this is also the original house owned by Mercury, so media, social media, and all of that. His communication is going to change enormously, and it's going to be softer, more diplomatic, still playful, very playful, but also very creative. It's like now she's influencing his creativity to be even more acceptable, more artistic, more playful, more affectionate, you know. Yeah, very, very beautiful influence I see here. And now the thing is the thing now is that, okay, she's bringing her sun right in his fourth house. So what we see here is that this sun here is going to want to rule the home life, meaning that Halle Bailey's sun is going to make her, or would make her, want to kind of like control the things around the house, around their home. Like if they're staying together, she's going to prefer that she's the one who kind of like makes the rules, who kind of like decides on, you know, stuff in the house. And because remember, sun is king, sun is royalty, right? And is conjunct his Saturn there. So it means that at times he may feel like, you know, within the household, he may feel like, okay, I don't have a voice here. You know, like my traditions or my rules or my disciplines, you know, they have to now kind of like change, you know, to please the royalty within the house. Because sun is just like that. Wherever sun goes, sun is going to show that status of you worship me, you must worship me, you must bow to me, I make the rules here. Okay, so of course this is a very intimate part which we will never know, because it's happening within the home, within the privacy of their home. But from this planetary alignment, we can see that dynamic playing there, or would be playing there, where she really like takes charge in the household, and she's the one making the rules, she's the one delegating the duties, the chores. And you know, Saturn being on the other side is a server, you know, is a service orientated. So DDG is going to be forced to just follow, you know, to follow the rules, even if he doesn't want to follow the guidance of Halle Bailey within the home. Because remember, this is within the home, which is something that is not visible to the rest of us, right? But at the same time, what we're seeing is that there would be a lot of friends that are coming to their home. Like there's a a lot of movement of friends and people from Hollywood, their network circle, which is Hollywood for them. We're seeing in and up and down, people coming in, going out, people coming in, going out within the home, from the friends, from the network circles, from Hollywood. And at the same time, we are seeing that they are able, or rather, let me say, DDG is now able to make even more gains and more profits within the home thanks to her chart. I mean, obviously DDG is a rapper, right? So it means that he's already making his own money. But now also due to Halle Bailey's chart, his gains are going to be bigger and profits are going to be bigger as well. Okay, thanks to her chart coming in here. And at the same time, we are seeing that due to her Venus and her Mercury, I know he's already famous, guys, but his fame, his expression in the world is also going to be, or would be, even more known, more popular. And it is true because, as people like us in Europe, we, in France, we know more about him now because of Halle Bailey, right? All right, and at the same time, so what we're seeing is that there is some sort of there is this family belief systems and traditions that Halle Bailey is bringing into this relationship, right? So maybe maybe at her house they usually do things in a certain way, that they usually believe in certain things, or maybe they even food, like they cook in a certain way or whatever, or they speak in a certain way, and she's going to bring that and introduce that to the relationship. She would do that, due to this chart. She would introduce those family values type of a thing, and because of this, DDG would also kind of adopt some of these values or styles of cooking, or even how they speak or whatever. So that would be something that's a bit uncomfortable, that he finds interesting nonetheless, her. And at the same time, we are seeing that his self-efforts, his entrepreneurial spirit, will be transformed in a very, very big way. He's going to, or if he hasn't, but he's going to transform himself continuously, on a routine type of a way, always transforming himself, maybe to even reach higher levels, or maybe from learning new things from her, or from people around them because of her chart. But this is going to be required from him. A lot of transformation is going to be required from him. He's going to even have to at some times be accused and face those accusations. That's what we're saying. There would be some accusations. There would be some sort of scandals, some sort of humiliation that he would have to face, and because of this, then he would go into this transformation of himself, whereby he has to transform himself into another version of himself, trying to maneuver around the situation, right? So that's what we're saying. And at the same time, maybe you guys can comment in the comment section below. This part I don't know. Did they start their relationship while maybe he was with somebody else, or was there another person attached to him during the same time of their relationship, or when their relationship started. You guys can confirm that, but then obviously there's some sort of secret that I see here, or some sort of romantic attachment that's attached here, right? Which is obviously in the hidden house of the 12th house, where things are hidden, where nobody knows what's happening really. So you guys can comment down below to confirm that part. But at the same time, now what we're seeing, which is very important, is that his children, or their child, because they have a child, right? Their child is going to grow up into like, or would, let me say you would, because we don't know the future, right? Would grow up into to be in the spotlight, to be involved in his profession, or linked to his profession, right? We're seeing that his child or children, if they have more, they would kind of like elevate more of his profession and status and all of that, right? And at the same time, thanks to her chart, we are seeing that he's going to be like very, very like unselfish in terms of romance. Like he's going to like kind of like throw himself into the romance part of his life, into the love, and he's going to take a lot of risks, and he must just be careful not to experience some losses and expenses, through taking risks and all of that, because, just be careful of that. All right, and at the same time, we're seeing that at some point he could be very concerned about health issues related to either himself or to Halle Bailey, or maybe somebody's working too hard, too much, a lot. They're not taking a break, so they must be careful, to take breaks sometimes, and just breathe. Okay. In terms of finances, because I must mention the finances part, because I see her Ketu in the second house. So what it means is that sometimes, when it comes to his finances now, there could be some sort of confusion, some sort of, not decided on how to spend the money, where to spend the money, where the money is going, what's happening to the money, some sort of, that part. So they must be careful. He must be careful to always keep in check with his finances and all of that, because of that they're coming to sit here, okay, causing this sort of inclarity in the bank account, maybe spending too much, giving too much away, and all of that. Just be careful there with the money there, okay? So that's what we're saying. So guys, that's it. Hey, like we did part 1 where we looked at Halle Bailey's perspective, and that was now DDG's perspective. So I'll chat to you soon. À tout de suite, à bientôt.